Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have recently discovered a brand new technique and I am a little bit obsessed with it. So today I'm going to be sharing that technique with you and creating a card. Before I get into the video, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and help my channel grow. And if you enjoy this video or find it useful, please also remember to hit the thumbs up button. So these are two cards I've already made using the technique. The technique is reverse stenciling. This is an alternative kind of Christmas card that I've made, and then we have this funky, brilliant for mail makes birthday card here. So this is a technique that Gina K's daughter did for the first time, I believe, and then Gina K did it. I'm sure loads of other people have done it, but I'm brand new to it and I'm loving it. So let me share with you how we create these funky cards. This is great for using your stencils and inks. So a few of the things you're going to need for this technique are obviously some stencils. So I have my pack that I recently hauled from AliExpress, and I'm going to be using this really fun wavy line stencil. I also have a 6x6 pre-fold card blank. Then I have two different blue cardstocks. On the previous two cards I only used one piece, but I want to try something a little bit different this time, which is why I have two. I'll give you the measurements for those later. And then we have a blank piece of cardstock. So we're going to start with this one here. Now this piece of cardstock measures roughly 5.5 inches square. I think I might have cut like a slither off top and side, but you know, it's roughly 5.5. Now if you were doing these cards, what you would do now is put a strip across the middle, and I'm using washi tape to mask my card off. So you would just lay it down in the position you want. However, I want to try something a little bit different today, so I'm going to be positioning my washi tape slightly different. Something else I'm going to be using for today's card is this set here. This is by Crafty Potential. I bought this in 2018. It is a coordinating die and stamp set, but you can use whatever you have. Once you've seen what I'm doing, I'm sure you'll be able to find something in your stash. So I've already pre-cut the Wonderful, and we'll come to that in a little bit. But I'm going to grab my stamps off now just so I can line everything up. So I'm going to grab off the Hope You Have a and Birthday, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roughly position these on my card, because on the last card I went across the middle. I thought it'd be interesting to see what it'd look like having the sentiments kind of going across the corners of the card. So I kind of like that. And now what I'm going to do is use the washi tape over the top to mask off the area. There's actually all different kinds of things you could use to mask off these areas. I'm using washi tape because it's low tack and I have so much of it that I need to use. You could equally use some scrap paper, you could use masking sheets, you could use whatever you want. The other thing I liked about this washi tape was it is roughly the size of my stamp, and it leaves the nicest little border around it, which I think looks really effective when we're done. So now what we need to do is bring in some blending tools and some inks. I'm going to be using Tim Holtz Distress ink today. You can use whatever you have, and all we're going to do is blend inks at various places around this card. You don't have to do a perfect blend. You can put the ink wherever you want. You're just going to make a nice pattern, and then we will move on. So because this table shakes a lot, I think I'm going to put you on high speed while I lay my ink down, and then I will come back to normal speed and we'll do the next step. Okay, so now we've got our ink laid down, it's time to bring in our stencil. We're going to lay this over the top of our paper and we're going to hold it down with some tape. So to hold mine down, I'm using masking tape. It's a bit well used because I've done this a couple of times now. So it's kind of sticky, but it's not excessively so. But again, you can use whatever you find is best to hold your stencil in place. And then we're going to bring in a black ink. Now in the videos I've seen, people have used regular stamping ink to do this part. However, I'm going to be using black soot because this is an ink that I have bought. It's been in the mini kits and I never use because I always reach for my other black inks. So I'm going to be using black soot for this part to make sure I'm using my stash up. But also the beauty about using distress inks over a stencil is because they're water reactive. As soon as you're done, all you need to do is rinse the stencil under some water and it cleans straight off. So we're just going to be adding the black ink over the stencil. So once you're happy you've covered the whole stencil, we can start lifting the stencil off. You really have to trust the process with this. I mean, right now it just looks like, oh my god, you've just covered over all that ink blending, but just wait till we lift the stencil off. So it's called reverse stenciling because if you stencil directly through a stencil, it's normally quite a subtle look, but this way we're going to really make all the colours pop. So if we lift the stencil off now, and then we can also really carefully lift the washi tape off, but just be aware of ink on hands. I think this washi tape is done now, so it can go in the bin. Look at that. Just really carefully hold that up so you can see. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to go and clean my stencil and then we will carry on. So now what I want to do is stamp my sentiments onto the card. So I have the hope you have a for this top corner, and I have the birthday for the bottom corner. So I'll just stamp those on my stamping platform and then I'll be right back to you. There we go, so that's my sentiments stamped on my card. So this is where we now bring in the die cut. Now, I like doing this with the die cuts, but if you wanted to use a different stamp or a different stamping technique across the middle, you absolutely could. So I've actually die cut the Wonderful from that Crafty Potential stamp set. I've actually cut it out of white cardstock 3 times and laid it up, and then I've cut it out of a blue cardstock for the top, and I've mounted it all on. So I'm going to be putting that across the middle here. I also have the tiny little bits from the middle of the die just so it makes a bit more sense, which I'm going to stick into the words just like this. I think these are great for any occasion and any type of person. You could do these for children, you could do these for adults, you could do these for those tricky mail makes, but I think this is going to look absolutely fab when it's done. So that's kind of how that's going to look. So I'll get that stuck down and I'll be right back to you. That is now drying. I have used Cosmic Shimmer glue because it does dry clear, so even though at the moment you can see kind of bits of glue, by the time it's dry you won't see that. So let's put that to one side for now and leave it to dry. Before I go any further, I'm just going to really carefully clean my desk up so I don't want any contamination on my cardstock. And let's bring in our base. So this is just a 6x6 card blank, so we can fold that in half and burnish it. I always find that one side is slightly bigger than the other, so always try and make sure that is the one I'm working to. Then we have this piece of mirror cardstock. This is by Dovecraft. This is the tropical pack. I really like it. It's really pretty. So it's going to go on like that. This piece measures just under 6 3/4 square, I would say. I think I cut it to 6 3/4 and then just trimmed not even 1/8 of an inch off. So I'm going to stick that bit on there. And then just because on the last two cards I felt that it needed another layer, I have this dark blue piece of cardstock. This is from Ocean Tales. This is the new release from Craft Consortium, and I love this cardstock. I love that it's 2 different colours, so you can literally choose which side you want to use, but I'm going to use this dark blue side. And this one has been cut to about 5.5 inch square. Yeah, 5.5 inch square for this one, and that's going to just mat on top of there. So I'll get those stuck down and then we'll carry on. There we go, so that's all mat and laid up. This is almost dry, so now all I need to do is adhere this onto the base. So let's get that done and then we'll have a look at the final card. And there you go, that is the finished card. I'm not going to add anything to this because I'm going to keep this as a male birthday card. You could obviously add to them, as I did with the Christmas card. I added some stars from Craft Consortium's Nativity collection. But I think they look really effective. It took maybe 20 minutes to do, so it's a nice quick make, easy to batch make if you're into batch making, and they're really effective. I love this reverse stenciling technique. I can see me doing a lot more of these. I love how it makes the stenciled image really come to the forefront instead of the background. I love how the colours pop. I just love everything about it. So let me know what you think of this technique in the comments below. Are you going to give it a go? And which of these 3 cards that I have here today are your favourite? I'd absolutely love to know. Thank you so much for watching today. It really means the world that people stop by and watch my videos. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button and help my channel grow. And if you've enjoyed this video or found it useful, please do remember to hit the thumbs up button. I will be back very soon with more videos. So until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.